coming. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the exhibit. And I stressed out so much. When I first was asked to do it, I was thrilled, and I thought it was just all wall art. I go, I better work, because I had just started learning how to do wall pieces, and I didn't know, from the sculptural work, and how I would relate that into wall art. And I was doing these really flat pieces, and I was enjoying painting them. And Maria Tusi here, we had a little get together one time. We get together with artists in our area, and we just start working and bouncing off each other. And she mentioned, I want to do wall pieces and use oil paints on them. And I go, I was thinking the same thing. And it's like we were thinking the same thing, and I got so excited. I go, do it. I think it would just be so cool, because a lot of times when you do a medium, you're expected to follow these rules. Like this piece here, it's all glazed, it's all high fired, and it works, but you could go further, and I thought the idea of putting oil paints on them could maybe create something that was a little bit different. And it's kind of scary because you're afraid that somebody's going to make fun of it. It's not authentic. And so I started doing the wall pieces. Because when she left that day, I says, I'm doing it. And I did. I started doing it. And it's kind of like a progression from, just experimenting. How are you going to hang it on the wall? Because a lot of times artwork is just not about the piece. It's how, when it comes into somebody's home, is it hangable? Is it going to fall off? Or how we're going to do it? And Kathy Talbot's husband, I was asking you, how are you going to, is it going to be, they're going to be heavy, they're bigger. Do them in sections, and how are you going to make sections work? So I had to go through all that, and having to do this show made me work really hard on the technical part. And sometimes you have to have the technical part before you could get confident with the creative part. And I think preparing for this show, I think I could go home now and really push the creative part. That was the preparation and thought for this show. And I do want to talk about where the starting of it also is. I don't know if you saw these 3 landscapes over here, the really tiny pieces. And I want to tell the story of those. And I told a few people the story. As I was going through my husband's sketchbook, he had passed away about 12 years ago, and he's a very fine artist. I don't know if anybody here has seen his work. But he had a sketchbook of these pencil drawings, and he would sketch them really quickly, like in 5 minutes. He would, he's done it, that muscle memory of drawing. And I looked at him and I go, those are beautiful. And I carved them in clay. And I used a pencil, the same media he would use to draw it, to try to get the feel of his work. Then I made a print of those, high-fired them, glazed them, and that was actually the first 3 wall pieces I had done. So, and then from there, that kind of grew up into that. And I'm really not great at talking about my process of work, and so if anybody has anything, because I'm not going to be long, but if anybody has any questions a little bit deeper of the work, they're going to ask me. Yeah.
You said, okay, these are fired pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they're oil paints.
Like this one has no oil. That's just pure glaze. That's not.
Okay.
Some of them I have added oil and colored pencils.
Do you fire them first and then do the oil painting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I couldn't figure out how you keep the oils from just.
They would burn out. It's fired to 2,200 degrees. It
Exactly.
burned out. And it kind of had to get the feel of how, if you're not used to using oil paints, being a painter, and you're just a potter, 3D person, it takes a while to get the feeling of painting. Like when I first painted one of these wall pieces, I go, you know, you're kind of like, you feel like you're in, you know, first class in college, you know, painting 101. That's how you feel like.
You learned fast.
Hmm?
I said, you learned fast.
You
Because your
know,
work is beautiful.
Louise came to my house today and she saw a pile of seconds on the floor, cracked and split, and you see, you don't see the mistakes.
Did you ever open the kiln and go, oh no?
All the time. And
Okay.
I've been working in clay for over 50 years, and I think when you're experimenting and you're working, you never get used to it, but it's part of the whole thing. I think failure is part of the whole thing. And I did a lot of teaching, and I think my worst type of student was the one that couldn't handle the mistake. Like, oh, that turned out horrible, I quit.
Oh.
Believe it or not, that happens a lot. But to be a potter, even to learn to throw on the wheel, you have to be used to a lot of failure. And that's all the way through. And I've got to say one more thing that an artist had told me. And he was actually a potter, and it was Stephen Hill. I don't know if you guys know Stephen Hill. I think he's one of the most well-known production potters because his glazing is just so beautiful. But I went to one of his classes because I loved his glazing and I wanted to learn more about glazing. And I think I went about 6-7 years ago. And the one thing he said that really hit me, and I'm gonna steal his thing because some things when another artist says really hits you and you remember it. He said that I'm not the best artist there is. I'm not, a genius, but I'm successful because I work long hours, I don't give up, and I have an idea and I want to perfect my style or my idea. And if you do that, you will be successful. And I truly believe that. I think he's absolutely right. Thanks for asking a question. Does that help me talk a little bit longer?
Thank you.
I want to find out what inspires you. What do you see out there and you say, oh, I got to do that?
A lot of, the coral colony is a good example over there. I went to, I love, what's that? Aquariums. I love aquariums. And there was a coral colony that was just flowing. And certain images just kind of stick, that's unbelievably, just unbelievable. And that one piece of diatom, that really is from a diatom. It's so mathematically perfect, and I did take that diatom image and then I'd sketch and I create from that. But I do have blocks. I have blocks all the time where, I'm not sure what to make, And I think.
Are you saying, did you say diatribe or
diatom? Diatom. They're like
so
the small.
little, they turn into clay eventually, right? Diatomaceous earth.
I think they're microscopic.
Yes. And
yes.
when they die, they poop and form diatomaceous clay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's just, they're kind of cool images. I mean, they're just going. And a lot of times, I do a lot of stone cutting, and there's certain jaspers that I think are amazing, the patterns in them. And a lot of times I'll look at stones and the patterns in stones, and if I get like a block, I'll sketch those patterns and I'll incorporate that. A lot of times somebody will tell me, oh, you can't do that, and that's a bad design. And I'll go back and I'll go, well, I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna even extend it even further than you say I can't do that. And a lot of times it makes really pretty work. And if I get like a mind block, I'll just start sketching. And it's the looser the sketch is, the less thought I put into the sketch, I think the better the better they are. The more I think, the more I, stress over it, I think it's not good, usually not good.
Do you actually use geodes in some of these?
My earlier work, when I was younger, everything I made had a geode on top. I did raccoon work, and
I love raccoon.
I was like 18, 20 years old, and I just did the big old geodes on top. And
That's awesome.
And I collected a lot of stones during my, I'm a rock hound. And now I use it sparingly, I just kind
I
of,
like
sometimes it doesn't
I like
need it,
the
doesn't
use.
need anything. Yeah,
I like to use something.
you like that? You love stones too.
Dude.
Well, and your mugs have a lot of turtles and
A lot of,
turtles and different creatures.
yes, I earn my living from my mugs. That's,
Yes.
I have been able to, yeah, and my son, me and my son work together, we have an Etsy shop, and we work together on the mugs, and he'll sometimes draw the design. I says, Mark, I need a younger thought process. He did a DNA mug with the X and Y chromosomes in the design.
Oh, how clever. Is that here?
No, I don't have it here, but you can check it on my website. Just type in
Shall.
DNA, handmade DNA pottery mug. It's the best DNA mug online. Of course, my son
A
designed it.
deoxyribonucleic acid mug.
He'll do the drawing and I'll do the carving.
That's
The
awesome.
template for the carving. So I love it when he does more of that because, I'm in the older generation and I want something that, he's doing. Well, he's 40 now, so I don't know if he's young generation anymore.
He is.
To me, he is, yeah.
Well, your work is just amazing. And I
Thank you.
love the incorporation of the semi-precious stones and the geodes and so forth.
Okay, yes.
Helene, you have coral and sea turtles and whales. Did you grow up on the coast? What's your inspiration?
I did. I lived in the Mediterranean in Yugoslavia in my youth, and the colors of the ocean, the colors of the ocean, they just sometimes, they don't look real. They don't look real. Yeah, I do love sea life. I love visiting. I could be in the aquarium all day. Like if you take me to Gatlinburg, their aquarium is amazing. Everybody else can go visit the tourist things, drop me off, pick me up at the end of the day. I've got my lunch.
Jackson has an amazing aquarium. Jackson, Mississippi.
Does it? I did not
It's
know.
incredible.
Is it?
It is.
Aquariums are just
What was your inspiration for this? Oh, I'm sorry.
teapots.
Yeah.
I love the form of the teapot because you can do so much with it. I mean, it has a spout, it has a base, it has a lid, and I think it doesn't have to pour. A lot of people have actually bought my teapots and sent them back to me because I can't
They're
use
not
this.
functional.
I can't use it. I've had people ship back their teapots, but you have something to start with. You got a teapot, and what you can do with it is just, I don't know. And then I have a story about teapots. When my husband, I don't know, I'm bringing my husband a lot. When my husband passed away, I was really depressed, and I know a lot of people lose their husbands. The first 2 years, it's like you're just walking. You're not really here. I went to work every day, but you're just walking. And I was so depressed, and I thought, all you do is think about yourself. Your mind is just on you, me, internal. I go, what if I made a teapot that reminds me of a certain person? And I go, well, I did my brother, and he doesn't understand art at all. He's got a sister, that's all she's about. He's more technical, and he's a perfectionist, technical. So I did this teapot that was all angles and perfection. That's my brother. And then I would do, you know, just different, and I did a summer of 50 teapots. And it was just the teapot, if my friend or anybody, that's what, if you were a teapot, this is what you would be. And this is a good example of this. This is Frank Ruggiero, and he's a stone cutter. So I added some stones in here, and he had a really, he's a little older than me, he had a really rough life. I mean, abusive, pretty much living on the streets as a 10-year-old because his, you know, just bad. And I know there's a lot of stories like that. A lot of people grow up really hard. So his base, if he would just stood on this, he would never stand. He was so weak because of his upbringing that he built up. I thought that when I saw him, he just grew heavy and he couldn't even stand on his own. But he had built up through friends and just his choices in life, he built himself a big base. So that was Frank Ruggiero. So that's why that's called Frank Ruggiero. That's one of the teapots from this number of 50 teapots. So, and he's
So who's that teapot?
That's just a fun teapot. That's not the part of 50 teapots, but that's a story of the summer of 50 teapots. So that's why I love making teapots. They're so individual if they were people, you know. Thank you for that question. Yes, Maria.
How long does it take you, not like the design, not the designing part, like coming up with the idea, but the actual construction and glazing and firing? How long does it take you to construct a piece like right there on that wall? Like how long?
Probably start to finish, 6 to 2 months, 6 weeks to 2 months.
Wow.
And a lot of times, I struggle, you know, my biggest struggle is it worth making? Is my idea even worth making, you know? Because you could have a lot of ideas, but how is it gonna be at the end? And the struggle is starting a piece. I think that's the biggest struggle. Is that good?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask
Do you
a
work
question?
on multiple things at any given time?
I do, a lot, yeah. When I was doing these wall pieces, you couldn't walk through the studio. I mean, it was hard to even get things working. Not like Kathy Talbot's studio that looks perfect.
Until you show up with mud.
And I heard from Louise, Rebecca, your studio's perfection too. Yeah.
This may be a stupid question. Did Picasso inspire you on this piece though in front of you, right here?
This
No.
one,
Right here. No, the
This
face,
way.
this one,
Cupid's the
face.
eyes and the lips.
The disjointed connection to the face looks so much like Picasso's works. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I love portraiture, but it's like I do sketches and sketches and sketches of them, and a lot of times it's just not working. It's not working. And I did a quick sketch of this piece, and I thought, oh my God, I think that's gonna work. I think it's gonna work.
It does work. Yeah, you did a
It's
good
gonna
job.
work. And after this piece, I actually did a sketch for a wall. I wanted to do I wasn't gonna bring this one here. I was gonna do a wall piece similar to this, that same concept. And it was 4 sections. 3 sections made the firing and the 4th cracked.
Oh.
But I said, I felt so bad, and I love this piece, so I brought it in. I do love that piece, yeah.
You're awesome.
Okay, we done?
Have you ever done any pit firing?
I did
Tell me
quite
about
a,
that.
huh?
Tell me about that.
The trick to pit firing is when you do your piece, usually rounder pieces do better, you know, like full. You want to burnish it really, really good with a spoon or a piece of plastic, get that high burnish. And then when you make your pit, you want to do, you lay brick. The trick is to get that color. You know, you want that fire, and sometimes you want those reds and colors to come into that. You want to have gaps so in your brick which most people don't do. So and I'm not an expert at it, I did a few, and they turned out, I went to a class, I got these tricks from this guy up in Alabama, and I thought his pit fire looked so, and I can't remember the names, I'm so sorry. But they looked so good and like the color, and I said, I gotta take his class. But he said that the fire, and I tried it 2 times and it turned out, the airflow through there is what causes, the oxygen flowing through causes that color and helps with that.
So that's like the kind of way raku is fired, isn't it? And the heat brings up colors based on
No,
the
no,
chemicals?
when you do raku firing, you heat the piece up to about 1800 degrees, and you have a lot of metals in the glaze.
And that's what reacts to the heat, right? And
You got
produces the-
coppers, and you got cobalt carbonate, and you got these copper carbonate is a big one. And you
What
put it,
color does that produce?
you put it in the glaze, and you glaze your piece with that glaze. But when you put it, when you pull it out of the hot kiln that's like 1700, when you're pulling it out, it's red hot. And you put it in a trash can, something with a cover, and you put combustible items, combustible things in there, and you put the hot piece into those combustibles, and what happens is it starts a flame in there, and you cover it. And the trick to raku is when you cover it and you got the flame going, all the oxygen is taken out of the atmosphere, every bit. And so the colorants, like the copper carbonate, the metals in there come out, and you get those blues and copper colors,
Well,
and
the-
iridescent, we call iridescent, you get that.
Does the paper, the burning source, does it actually impart color to the pottery itself?
No, the burning material takes all the oxygen out of the atmosphere, creating a reduction,
Oxidation reduction.
which is causing all those colors.
Amazing.
That's what it is.
You have to be a little chemist to know all that,
Well,
don't you?
no, I mix all my glazes, but I just learn what I gotta learn, you know, and I'll look it up.
You done
And,
well.
Yeah, it's
You're
all
a bit
trial
of a
and error.
geologist and a chemist at the same time.
No, not me, not
Well, your
me.
work reflects that.
I think it's just trial, for me, it's like lots of failures, and that works, that's me. I'm not the chemist part. All right.
Do you teach classes?
I used to teach classes, and I think I'm not a good teacher. I'm not a good teacher. I overcomplicate things. Maria, tell them.
I love your classes, I'm not the one. I'm not the one to ask.
Teach a class.
It's not that good. I stress too much. I really stress. I mean, I think I would rather do demonstrations, like people invite me. I'll work all day, you can watch me, ask questions. I think what would be really nice is having 3 or 4 artists all working, and then you just kind of get a room full of people working. That's my kind of venue. I like that best. Okay.
Talk about your jewelry making a little bit.
Jewelry making is a battle for me, like a big battle. Cutting this, it is like I need another lifetime to be good at it. You know, you've got to, I'm good at cutting the stones, but when you get to the metal work and the chain making, I love the designs, how am I gonna answer that question? I love making the pieces I make, I love wearing them. I don't have enough time to really get good at it, you know, but I enjoy making it.
She doesn't have enough time to get what she considers good.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
And and I could be wrong, could be right, there's not as much, when people look at jewelry, they look at, like they're going to a jewelry store. It's like, they don't really look at the art of it as much, but when I do a wall piece, I think people really look more at the, like I went to a show just selling jewelry, and it's not as, they're not looking at the art in it as much, I think, as they look at a wall piece or, it's not as satisfying from the customer's point of view. That's the experience I had, because when people buy jewelry, they're thinking of themselves, oh, how's this gonna look on me? And this is the wrong, I'm not doing this well.
They want gems.
They want gems,
and
they want.
pearls and-
Or,
yeah.
my husband bought me this diamond ring here, look at this, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, see what you're saying.
You do?
I do.
Yeah, I'm almost not even there, you know, I feel like I'm not even there.
Although there is someone here with some of your earrings, and they are lovely.
Thank you.
Where is she? And they are lovely, yeah.
I enjoy every piece I make. All
do
right,
too.
thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.